Welcome everybody to Lost in the Reel. This is Sean,
And this is Morgan.
and we are going to be doing Disney through the ages. And on this beloved day, we are going to be doing the Renaissance era. And this is definitely the era where Disney kind of just came out of nowhere and they just started doing hit after hit after hit. So we're very excited to do this era for you guys.
Totally. Top 10. Full disclosure, for my ranking, I love every single one of these films. And they definitely shaped me morally and like my sense of humor growing up. Like it was so hard to choose. And you talk to me in a year or two and it could be a totally different ranking. So this is my current one, except for my number one. That one's been my number one since birth or since the movie came out.
I would say that that's the case for me as well.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to do this list because I have a feeling we are going to have very different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to start out with your number 10?
Yes, my number 10 is Pocahontas. I think the animation is lacking. I don't really like the story too much. The music I love.
Yep.
The music I love. I like the strong female character. Slight morals can be drawn from it that are, I think, good for young children to watch. But it's just lacking. I kind of put it on in the background. I'll rewatch it, but it's never been my, I love this movie so much. That's my number 10.
My number 10 is The Little Mermaid.
Oh shit! Oh, Sean. The movie that saved Disney, essentially, that started the Renaissance. Wow, brutal. Okay.
It definitely saved Disney, which is amazing, and I love the side characters like I do in most of these Disney films. But I have no enjoyment watching this movie at all.
What about Ursula? What about Ursula? Come on.
Ursula's great. Her song is definitely my favorite. That main song, what is it?
Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Yes.
Wow. You don't even
I
know
do
the title.
like that song, and I really like the Ursula villain character, but I just don't enjoy this movie. And
Story?
huh?
Like the story? What? Go ahead.
I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I love Kingdom Hearts, and I hated the level of The Little Mermaid, and I could never beat it, and it made me so angry that every time I watch The Little Mermaid, I just remind myself of that level from Kingdom Hearts, and I can't do the movie anymore.
Oh my God. One Kingdom Hearts fan too. And that was my favorite world, and Ursula was very difficult to defeat as a boss, but I still love it. Wow. Okay.
But
Fun.
even before Kingdom Hearts, I didn't love The Little Mermaid. I never have. I don't know why. I really don't have an explanation for it.
Did you know that Ursula was based on Divine the Drag Queen at some point?
Yeah.
Nothing? You
I
feel nothing?
love.
Okay. Thought that would. Okay. My number 9 is Rescuers Down Under.
Okay.
I love the movie. I do love the story. The animation was interesting. I wish it got more backing because it was kind of animation, but by computer, essentially, like a little different than the hand-drawn. And I thought that was a good risk that they took, and I liked that they did that. But it wasn't, I enjoy the Disney musical. It didn't really have that.
Right.
It was adventurous and actiony in a way, but it was just a kind of bleh plot and movie, and it's not there for me. It's a number 9. Yeah.
My number 9 is going to be Pocahontas.
Yeah.
I do like this movie. Once again, I really like the side characters, like the little raccoon, especially. and the Great Willow Tree.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I think that it has a lot to give. Colors of the Wind is a classic Disney song, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't stack up to all of the other Disney, Disney films.
Yeah, I agree. Same. Good music. Good music. My number 8 is Tarzan, which is hard because fun. It's like super adventure story. I thought the animation was very beautiful. I love the strong character of Jane, and Tarzan was hot to watch as an animation character. um, and this is really low on my ranking. And funny enough, it was one of the most expensive Disney films of this era. And I'm just like, when I found out it was the budget was 130 million, I was
It's
like,
crazy.
are you serious? I think all the money must have gone to Phil Collins. It's like, oh, that's why this movie got really low in my ranking because I'm very big on the music and I can't stand Phil Collins and he ruins it for me. Not even Rosie O'Donnell's song could save it.
Well, we have very different opinions on Phil Collins, but I will continue. My number 8 is going to be The Rescuers Down Under.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have a really soft place, a really, what
Warm?
is the word?
I think soft
Warm,
and warm works. Why is
a
yeah,
warm
that
place in
works.
my heart. For The Rescuers, I love the original film.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is beautifully animated. I think it doesn't seem like a Disney movie, but I also just love the characters so much that being able to see them again in a different storyline
Same
makes me
voice
really like
actors.
it. Yeah.
I love that too.
And that just it makes me happy. It's a film that I like, but definitely not one that I go back to over and over again.
Yeah, fair. I do love Bernard and Bianca's relationship so much. My number so cute. Um, my number 7, which might this is now we're getting into like fighting territory, is Aladdin.
Oh,
I think the animation can be beautiful, but it's mostly just it's too childlike. I think Robin Williams kind of carries the film. Jafar is a great voice actor villain. I'm not a big fan of the music at all.
you picked A Friend Like Me as your favorite song of Aladdin?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my.
Um,
Okay.
and I'm a little disappointed. Yeah, in the storyline, it feels rushed and short. Like it just feels like it wasn't a feature film at like it claimed to be. So yeah, it's my number 7. I'll watch it, and it is for Robin Williams, and that's about it.
Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
My number 7 is Hercules.
Really?
And I I don't know why, but I've never had like super fond feelings of this film.
Even your dogs are offended that Hercules is so low.
They're very offended right now. Some reason when I was a kid, that was like the one movie that I just had no interest in. And even as an adult now, watching it over again, I love the gospel singing. I love the song "Going the Distance," but I never really related to the Hercules character. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't hold up as I think a lot of people think that it does. But that's just my opinion.
That's fair. These are our own rankings, so that's interesting to know. Okay. May I ask, have you watched it recently?
I think I watched it last year.
Okay, that's fair.
So
All right. I'll respect that. My number 6 is Beauty and the Beast, which for the longest time used to be my number 1 or number 2.
mhm.
But every time I rewatch it as an adult, I like it less and less. The animation is beautiful. It was the first Disney animation that I watched that felt like a really feature film, not just for animation, but like I could like any comparable to any film. Like the storyline, the characters, the music I don't really like that much. And it's just not there for me. I used to feel very close to Belle's character, but again, the more I watch it as an adult, I'm like, I don't know if I want her exactly as a role model for young. So I'm like a little over like the female that tames the brute and then she gets her friends like, eh. But I do respect it for when it came out and like the story it brings and its involvement in how it helps shape the rest of this age of the Renaissance. You know, that's it.
Absolutely. My number 6 is Beauty and the Beast.
Huh. Jinx.
And I think that pretty much everything that you said, I agree with. I don't love the music as much as everybody else does.
Right?
And, once again, the side characters make the movie. But I just think the animation is beautiful and it was an epic for its time. But now watching it over again, and maybe the live action version kind of tarnished that for me because I was not a huge fan of the live action version. But I just think, it's still a really great movie, but it doesn't have the same place in my heart as most of these Disney movies do.
So my number 5 is The Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of what you said a little bit, like not as mean, Jesus, Sean. But like, I love the music. I think I respect it for bringing Disney back to life and giving like the story, I don't know, another level that kind of was a precursor to the other stories that Disney would tell for a Disney for an animation. But yeah, I love the music. The story of Ariel not having a voice and then kind of just chasing after a man the whole time. I'm just like, it's funny that you bring up like the side character Sebastian is like my favorite, and his songs are kind of my favorite. Totally, right? Like, Ursula, I love Ursula though. As a villain, she's one of my top 5 favorite villains because she's just sassy and evil, and I love her so much. And it's scary, and it's fun, and I like to watch it now and then, but it's not quite up there on my list. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So my number 5 is going to be The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I would have probably put this as my number 10 unless you made me watch it a couple of years ago. And because I have found a new love for this film. It's extremely dark, but the themes of morality in it is so interesting for a Disney film. I love the animation. I love Esmeralda. I think the music is so underrated, and a great Disney film that people need to probably revisit because it's so good.
I don't hear people talking about it ever. It's never like even considered as a classic Disney film, which is disappointing. I'm glad I got you to at least bump it up a little bit more on your list.
Yeah.
All this Disney talk is making me hot. Hold on. My number 4 is Lion King, and someone recently explained to me why it's really so good, especially like it's the number 1 Disney grossing animated film, not even of this era, but of like I think all time. And I love it. It's dramatic. It is solely based around animal characters, but you get so much more depth in the story. And I love the animation is beautiful, just beautiful. But it's not one that I want to watch over and over again. Maybe because I cry generally, because it is very depressing. Um, and again, I'm so based in music when it comes to Disney animation, and I don't like Elton John, and I think he also kind of, I know, I just don't, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Lion
Oh,
King 2 has a better soundtrack. You never seen Lion King 2?
no.
Oh,
I've seen The Lion King 1.5.
also good.
It was good. It was good.
No, and I love the Lion King. Like I used to play the video games. I used to watch Timon and Pumbaa. Like but Timon and Pumbaa are like those characters make me want to rewatch the film. That's good. Yeah, that's my number four. It is what it is. I'm gonna get
I
shit on.
feel like there's a theme here where we just really love the side characters in Disney films and aren't like super interested in the actual main characters. But
That's not true. I well, especially towards the princesses, I really want a strong female with a good backstory. So that's also.
yeah,
But you're right. It's all about
yeah,
the side characters. Okay, go ahead.
related. My number four is Aladdin, and I have very fond memories of this movie as a kid, and I loved Aladdin. Like when I was a little boy, I was like, he's such a badass.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Jasmine is, a really good, romantic foil for him. But um, the genie, Robin Williams, the late Robin Williams, he steals the show, and I think he is one of the main reasons why we consider this one of those classic films. But he really does make the movie.
He really does. I agree. My number three is Mulan, and I just watched it again today, and I love it. I love the animation style, how it kind of gives um, the sense of the Chinese artistry. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. With they kept those same designs and put it into the animation, and I love the character Mulan. I love how she's going to war and how it's like not like a lot of other Disney princess things where essentially her finding a man at the end is like a side dish for her character development. It's not the whole goal of it. And I love the songs and like Reflection. Like I hope I rewatching it and listening to it. It's like I hope that maybe some young trans people watching it and listening to her sing about how she wants her reflection to show her inside that they saw that and they felt the same and then they gave them inspiration to like go for that. I don't know, or anything. It's all inspiring. I love the music. It's fun. It's funny. Mushu is a great side character and it's heartwarming. Number three. I love it. I never get tired of it.
You want to watch Mulan again right now?
Do it. Do it.
My number three is going to be The Lion King. And I absolutely love this film. I saw it in the theaters when they re-released it, and the moment, see it now. That's a terrible,
That was really bad, but I got it. Yeah.
but I literally started crying because I just have such fond memories of it, and I think that it's just a powerful but very simple story, and I don't know if I love Timon and Pumbaa very much. I don't know why. That might
What?
be like a decisive comment to say, but like I don't love them as much as some of the other side characters we've talked about. But I do just love this film and Simba and Nala, their relationship, and especially Simba's relationship with his dad. There's just a lot of really amazing things going on here.
Um, my number two is Hercules. I love Hercules, which is surprisingly one of the more expensive films. I, I love the story. Again, I like the same similar to Milan, how they keep the Greek art and tied into the animation. I think that's really, I just love when they do that. It's a little bit more respectful. I love the songs. I love the songs. I love the Latinis. I love Danny DeVito as the voice actor. Hades, you just love to hate Hades. That girl was a very strong female character. And it is very funny, very funny. So kids can enjoy it, but it's also a lot of adult humor in it, which I think is enjoyable. And it's dark and it's sad. I would cry at the end, and I would feel anxiety not knowing what would happen. It's just, I really love it. But this might be where I'm a little biased because I have memories of going into the theater and I still had my Hercules mug and I had Hercules like sneakers that they have in the movies. So I am biased because I just have memories of going to see it multiple times in theaters. It's my number 2.
My number 2 is Tarzan.
You and Phil Collins.
Honestly, out of every Disney movie, this is the one I've watched the most, and I continue to rewatch. I love the music. It just like is ingrained inside of me. Every time I hear it, it gets me all excited. I love the music. I love Phil Collins. I know we differ on that. Rosie O'Donnell is so great. The animation is just fluid and beautiful, and it was ahead of its time when it came out. And I just love the heart of this story, and also how dark it gets at the end. That's insane with Clayton.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So I absolutely love this movie, and it's definitely my number 2.
Okay. You're so silly. My number 1, obviously, because I've ranted to you before, is Hunchback of Notre Dame. Oh, okay, you ready? You ready, people? This may be a Disney animation, but it is not for children. In the first couple minutes, we have a woman murdered on the steps, and then attempted infanticide, and then this horrible person, Frollo, the best villain, who is so righteous in himself, is just burning people left and right. Literally, Paris tries to kill an innocent family. We talk about torture and genocide. The story is so dark. It is like, oh, it's chicken soup for my dark soul. I love it. And the animation is beautiful. It still holds up to this day. And the songs, no offense to Aladdin and even Beauty and the Beast, but I think this music in Hunchback of Notre Dame is worthy of Broadway more so than those movies, right? And it's a story, yes, the pretty Phoebus and Esmeralda end up together, but I like how the Hunchback, Quasimodo, gets the love of the people finally, which is really what he needed more than Esmeralda's romantic love. And then last thing, I think it's hilarious that they're creating this character design of Quasi. And he's like, okay, you got the hunchback, you got the swollen eye, you got the messed up teeth. And then finally, like, let's make him a ginger. Just like sprinkle that in, like, because that's the ultimate. They're like, we're missing something. And again, the side characters, the gargoyles, Jason Alexander as a gargoyle, hilarious. I just love it. It is underrated. It is a serious film. The lyrics are beautiful. It is not for children. It is not for children. Everything that I watched and then rewatching as an adult, I'm like, I didn't get that. I did not get that. That's darker than I expected. People are just dying left and right, or it's just, okay, that's it.
Also, hashtag we love gingers.
Yes.
My number 1 is 100% Mulan.
I knew it.
I don't know what to say about Mulan besides it's my second favorite Disney film of all time, and I absolutely love it. I think the animation, like you said, I love how they bring the culture into the animation and the hand drawn animation. And Mulan herself, to me, is just such a character that I relate to and I want to root for. And Mushu, you got Eddie Murphy doing the voice acting. He's incredible. And the songs are so good.
So good.
Is my favorite Disney song out of all time. I literally sing it. I mean, you've heard me sing it many, many times before. But this film I love it. I love it so much, and I don't really have much else to say about it besides it's definitely one of Disney's best animated films, and I am very nervous for the live action version that's going to come out sometime.
Yeah, I heard you were very disappointed how it wasn't going to be a musical, and that's
Yeah.
like your favorite part of it. I'm sorry.
Oh. But that's okay. We still have the animated version of it.
Totally. And I just want to point out they can't even do a live action of Hunchback because it would be too dark.
You rated R.
Dude, right? Yeah. Good list. All right.
I honestly I love these movies so much. And I know people are gonna be whatever about my grade for The Little Mermaid, but at the end of the day, all of these films are amazing, and they'll definitely have a place in our hearts. All of them. So
Yes, I agree. This is my childhood right here for sure, and they shape me morally, and I love it so much. I love all these films so much.
me
Thank you,
too.
Disney, for making them. Thank you for watching. This is Lost in the Reel. I am Morgan, and this is.
Sean.
And if you have different opinions of our ranking, please let us know in the comments. Please subscribe. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And yes, thanks for watching. We'll see you
See you
next
next
time.
time.